It's Fully Threaded Radio Special Report.
Hey everyone, Eric Dudas with you again. This special report episode of Fully Threaded Radio is a conversation with Bob GQ Baer of Abbott-Interfast, Jake Valdez Davis of BTM Manufacturing, and Bobby Wegner of Beacon Fasteners and Components. He's known as Tater Tot by the mud racing set, and we're going to talk about the annual Fastener Mud Race that's coming up on August 23rd. Try to get you guys inspired to jump onto this team, or if you've already registered and you're going to be there, get you fired up. That's right, mud racing is back. Last year we had to take an unexpected year off, and MWFA Fastener Week is right around the corner, so it's almost time. Just a fun conversation this time. Not too much to do with fasteners, but all solid fastener people on this one. The title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio are Bright & Best International, Global Fasteners, and Star Stainless. Fully Threaded is also sponsored by Buckeye Fasteners, BTM Manufacturing, Eurolink Fastener Supply Service, Fastener Technology International, InSequel Software, J-Land Franco, the International Fastener Expo, MW Components, Solution Industries, Volt Industrial Plastics, and Worth Industry USA. This segment was originally recorded to be part of a regular FTR episode, and then it just seemed like it would make way more sense to have it as a standalone special report, so it flows like one of our regular features, but it's a standalone. It'll go by fast. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you out in the mud in August. Here's my conversation with GQ, Valdez, and Tater Tot. And we're back, and it's July. That means August is right around the corner, and that means the week with no vowels, Fastener Week, MWFA's flagship event. And we've been kicking it off for the last several years with a sort of a non-sanctioned event, I guess we can call it. That's the mud race. Started off as the Tough Mudder, became the Rugged Nuts, I believe, and then it was a weird walk last year. Now it's back to the Tough Mudder. So I've got some of the instigators of this whole thing on now, and some of the OGs of the mud race, that being Bob GQ Baer, the godfather of the whole thing, Jake Valdez Davis, and Bobby Wegner of Beacon Fasteners. Hey guys, thanks for being here. Let's open this thing wide up, maybe grab another person or two for this year's team.
Okay, Eric, appreciate you letting us come on again, talk about the race. Big event. We are happy to be back and getting ourselves a little muddy this year as opposed to just jogging around, which pretty much is all we did last year.
Or walking.
Yeah, walking, some of us. The main thing is we always get together at the end, no matter what happens.
That's right. There's a lot of camaraderie in this event. There's a lot more to it than just a race, that's for sure. It's a fastener event unlike any other. Mr. Valdez, I know you've been doing some special things lately to train up for this. And Bobby, you were telling me you're actually using it as a warm-up for an actual marathon a little while later. So we all have our own ways of coming into this. All right, guys. So we want to talk about who, what, where, when, and make sure everybody who wants to get involved in this knows. But I'd like to start with a little history on this race because it goes back to 2021. Again, we did the race in Rockford. We were the Rugged Nuts, I think, was our original team name.
Tough Nutters.
No, Tough Nutters.
Tough Nutters.
Tough Nutters.
I keep getting confused. Bobby, why don't you lead us off here? What are your fondest memories of that first go?
Oh, man, so many to recount from. We had an unexpected river cruise. A couple of the OG crew almost got swept up in the river and almost needed somebody to rescue them. Luckily, George Hunt was there to step in and make sure that we all made it on dry land. Yeah, also, we had the giant wall that nobody thought we were going to make it over, but somehow between multiple attempts and people hoisting each other up, got everybody who attempted the wall over the wall. It's one thing we love about doing this as a team is it's really not a race. It is everybody's starting together, everybody's finishing together, and everybody's helping each other throughout the way.
A lot of teamwork, that's for sure. And, let's set this up a little more for people who have no idea what we're talking about, because we can't assume that they do. This is a 5K mud race, meaning there's 12 obstacles interspersed with a 5K run. So you never really run all that far. And the time that you are, quote unquote, running, you never really know who's going to be right there with you, kind of not really running so fast. On the other hand, certain people like to really speed through, and that's the great thing. All speeds are accommodated, and we do it all as a big team. Isn't that right, Jake?
Yeah, I think kind of speaking back to that first one, I kind of, it was the first I had done a few half marathons prior to doing the Tough Mudder, and it was unlike anything I had done. You worry and have a little bit of anxiety about the obstacles, and doing it together as opposed to maybe by yourself or another person just brought that down from a simple fact that, especially doing it with great friends in the industry, and we've been blessed to be able to grow that. I mean, Bobby talked about the wall, scared the ever loving what out of me. I was like, there's no way this human body can get up there and do that. But my philosophy is I run as fast as I can, throw, Jesus, take the wheel, and I just run straight to Mike Robinson and Bobby, and they pull you over. So it worked out. So, and Bobby spoke to it. We start together, finish together. We do that. So anybody that hasn't done it that might be, not really interested in it or thinking it's not for them, it is for you, because we do it as a group. And you look back a couple years where we did the Rugged Maniac, we had, I think, low 30s, and I know Bob's done a great job of posting that picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. We were finished, and there was, just there's an accomplishment feel to it, like a challenge accepted, challenge met. And then there's just the fraternal part of it that follows the race that we can talk about. But just really looking forward to it again. Bob and George and Bobby, and that original group just set the expectations very high, and it's just always been our goal to grow it. And it's just a great lead into a wonderful week with our industry friends.
Yeah, and like Jake says, it's the finish that counts. It's getting to the end. Bobby mentioned the wall. It's actually called Everest, and it's 13 feet high. And everybody that's been in this race to date, and you could see the list online, you can see the pictures, has made it up that wall. So if you have any doubt whatsoever that you can't get through the obstacles, just look at our group, look at that wall, and know that we will get you through every single one of them. And if there's an obstacle out there that you really don't like, you don't want to go through it, I'm not going to talk about the electroshock therapy, but that may be one of them. You're welcome to skip it. And I want to clarify one other thing. We call it a mud race. We're not timed. We're not in a hurry. Our goal is to start together, finish together, get everybody through safely with a lot of fun and a lot of camaraderie and a big party at the end. We have a tailgate party in the parking lot, and then we go to lunch. In the next couple weeks, I'll be putting out a couple emails with some training tips and some suggestions for the gear and the type of clothes you should wear. We have an awesome group of sponsors, which we'll mention in a few minutes. We have great bling. BBI sponsored a special coin for their 100-year anniversary on one side, and God bless them, they put our logo for the mud race on the other side. When you sign up, you'll find that it's a $75 fee, which is a deep discount from the regular pricing. It includes parking. You get a finisher's shirt. You get a headband. They give you a beer. But more importantly, you get the epic Tough Mudder race shirt that we give. Everybody wears as a team at the beginning of the race. So it's a real bargain as far as costs go. It's a fun party. We start out, and Jake will talk a little bit about where we start out before the race with our pre-race routine. But it's held in Rockford, near the Rockford Airport. This year it's August 23rd. Our start time is 10:30 in the morning. We generally get together around 9:30 up in the Rockford area. And it's a nice day. It's a nice way to start out Fastener Week.
You said that it's really not a race, which is true, but it is muddy.
Yes,
Muddy it is.
You're going to get mud in your shoes. You're going to get it in your pants. You're going to get mud pretty much everywhere. So be ready for that and hope for warm weather. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. And it does take a couple days to get all the mud out, just from what I hear.
And speaking of hoping for a warm day, though, there is one obstacle, and we don't know which 12 obstacles we're going to get, although we do know that wall, Everest, will be included. And we do know that we're going to have to cross the Rock River again, which was actually pretty cool, wading across that river last time. But the one obstacle, and we were talking about this before we turned on the recorders, that I don't know, I'm going to have to really psych myself up, guys. It's the what they call it's an ice bath, essentially, is what it is, folks. You have to basically dive in an ice bath and swim under, I guess, a couple of barriers. They're calling it Arctic enema.
You got it. Arctic enema. Yeah, just the name alone is scary enough, right?
I don't know. You going to do that, Bob?
I've done it twice in my life. It's 34-degree water in a trailer. You jump in one side. You have to go underwater to get in. There's no way around it. You're completely submerged. You come out on the other end, and you are pretty frozen for a good 20 seconds. But, if it's 95 degrees out, it could be refreshing.
It would feel great.
Yeah, it's the coldest I've ever been in my life, to say the least.
I think our original Tough Nutter, Tabitha, says it messed up her inner core for a little bit, but she's fully recovered. And the one time she did it before joining us back in 21.
Guys, I thought we were recruiting people
You're right.
into this. What are we doing here?
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, I will say this: the chance of Arctic enema being a part of the 5K races, it hasn't been in it so far. It's pretty slim. I think they reserve that for the hardcore people doing the 12-miler. But it is out there. It is a possibility. But it's not as frightening as we make it sound. It really isn't. It's over in about 5-6 seconds. And you literally recover in about another.
Well, and as much fun as we have playing around with some of these, we kid about the electrocution one too. But if you do want to walk around one of these, there's no dishonor in that. And we've got a couple people with various medical situations that we know about, and they've pre-warned us. There's just a few that we're not going to be able to do. I'll tell you this as well. If you're thinking you're too old for this, we have a couple senior members already on the team. Carmen Vertulo and Dan Zender. They're both going to be out there on the course, huffing it through. And rumor has it, Brian Musker may be there too. He's been there supporting us. He may actually put a jersey on this year, guys.
Come on.
Well,
He's going to leave the awesome media junket to join the Tough Nutters.
Right. So nobody's too old.
Got that right.
We have a nice range of participants age-wise, from the 30s, as you say, all the way up into the 60s, late 60s, maybe even the 70s this year. Age is not really the issue. A little bit of training, ability to run, maybe a half mile straight, maybe 3/4 miles at a jog pace, and just a little bit of some weight training will get you there. And we have 6 to 7 weeks before the race here. Plenty of time to get in shape for this sort of thing with the help that we provide to all the participants, as far as pushing people over walls or pulling you through water or grabbing you as you come up the wall. Almost anybody can do this race. Take a look at our participants. We've been posting. You could see who's done it in the past if you want to gauge yourself against the past participants.
Bob, you've got the list of this year's roster so far. We fully expect that after this and a few folks who might have been putting it off, we'll have a team closer to 40 or north of 40. But are there any new names on the list this year you want to share with us?
Where we sit right now is we're at about 33 to 34 participants with about 3 more weeks before we cut it off. The big change this year is field fastener has really come to bat, and there's 8 or 9 participants from field, including Adam and Dan Derry. Let's see who else is new. We have a couple people from Big Bolt jumping on. Matt Jaggard from from he's a member of the MWFA, is jumping in. Carmen's been there, cheering us on and just about running the race in the past, but not officially running. So he's jumped in this year. He's really considered new. It's going to be great. We've got some of the return folks coming in this year, and a lot of people last year they did the 5K, but they didn't get a chance to get muddy, so they'll get muddy this
Yeah, last year, folks, you might recall we had to do something completely different because the Rugged Nut Company, the one that was running sort of the competitor to the original Tough Mudder, went out of business. And we didn't have enough time to reschedule. So instead of doing a mud race, we did more of a traditional 5K run walk, and it turned into sort of a stroll, really. But it was the same group, but it was a lot different. So we're back to being muddy this year and looking forward to that. Valdez, you've been doing some rather unorthodox training this year, I heard. Tell us a little bit about that. Is it having any impact? I mean, you going to set the course on fire this year or what?
We're going to find out. I don't think it's going to help with the speed. It might help with, the pregame stretching. But, I've taken up Pilates, my wife and I, just trying to be a little bit more active. So trying to do that about 2 to 3 times a week. And the best part about it, July and August are a little bit slower before Fastener Week. So I'm hoping to pick it up a little bit more. But it's been very eye-opening. I'll just say the positions that you can put your body in, and then just one little movement of a foot this way or an arm that way will cause great pain, and I love it. So I'm actually headed there tonight. So when we're done here, so
nice. Well, eye-opening may be exactly what you need if the Arctic enema is on the list.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Hey, one other comment I would like to make to all those out there thinking about it. If you are thinking about it, this is the year to do it. A lot of things happening next year with MWFA's 80th anniversary, and events are getting jogged around, dates are getting changed a little, and things may not line up. So you may be thinking, I'm going to see what happens this year, and maybe I'll jump in next year. This is the year to do it because we don't know what's going to happen next year. We don't know where we'll be. So get yourself out there, get on the list, contact Jake, Bobby, George, myself, look at the posts on LinkedIn. But this is the year to do it, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point, Bob. Just coming off of we got all board members on here right now, and just coming off of that, and very excited about what's going to be taking place in 2026. But to just speak personally to it, everything but the race is probably the coolest part of it for me. It's the relationship part of it, and again, it's just an extension of the networking and everything that we value so importantly within our industry. You're just doing it, with shorts on and with mud up your nostrils and orifices. So the aspect of it, being able to then, get cleaned up. I think, I talked about that Rugged Maniac race in 2 years ago, just our largest group. It rained during the race, and then the sun came out. And I think that post-race tailgate was just epic. And Bobby, I'll let you talk about kind of our tradition of what we've done the last 3 years, from the post race tailgate and then to lunch. But I think for me, just focusing on everybody showing up and seeing each other, in pre-gaming, because we do have traditions with our pre-game, thanks to our friends at Parker Fasteners, and then of course, the race and everything within that. But then just what the post game tailgate and the lunch that Bobby's going to talk about is just evolved into, to me, just makes the whole day just one of my favorite of the year, honestly.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jake. Getting everybody introduced to one another from the first time somebody comes on the team, and really getting them to feel like a part of the team. Even everything from the nicknames, they carry you through Vegas. You'll hear your Tough Mudder nickname yelled out half an aisle down, and turn around, and it's one of the Tough Mudder participants that's cheering you on in other ways. But yeah, the pregame, everybody meets up in a parking lot. We're hanging out. We do a little pregame tradition, all go over to the race together, run the race together, and then post race meet up back in the parking lot and open up the trunk and all stand around, and hopefully the weather will continue to be good. We've been blessed every year that we've done it with sunshine for our post game event. Yeah, just hanging out and getting to know each other, or for the people who've done it in years past, getting to catch up with one another. And some of it's, a lot of it's fun, a little bit of connections on the work side, but a lot of it's just getting to know people for who people are and seeing them in a different environment than a conference room. And I think there's so much power in that, and getting to see professionals muddy, right? People who you'd usually see in a suit coat, up to their eyeballs and covered in mud. And it just brings it to a different, level of being human together, which one of my favorite parts about it. But from the tailgate, we move on to, they do have showers, right? They've got some kind of system to get some of that mud out. I do strongly suggest bringing a change of clothes with you, so that when we head out from the parking lot, we go out, we'll rent out a room for lunch, and everybody just comes in and gets to continue in fellowship and gets to continue talking about the race and sharing highlights and their favorite parts. And it's really just bonding. And it really has become, Jake referred to it occasionally as the quote unquote fraternity. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of camaraderie, and we love it.
Here's the bonus this year, by the way. We have hired a photographer who will be coming along during the race and trying to capture as much of us on the obstacles as possible and putting the footage together for posting at a later date. Traditionally, a couple of us have worn GoPros, and I've made my meager attempt to put some things together and post them out on social media, but it's definitely not my forte. But we went ahead and spared no expense this year, and we've hired a what I hope is going to be a very professional but fun video at the end of this thing, and hopefully we'll post that out there. So, you definitely another reason to be a part of it this year.
Wow, that's really cool. So, you want to be a mud racer? Get in touch with Bob GQ Baer. He's over at Abbott-Interfast. Bobby Wegner, he's with Beacon, or GH3, Brighton Best International. Any one of those three guys will get you all the credentials you need and steer you over to the Tough Mudder website. You can go to toughmudder.com. Also, the race that we'll be doing will be the Rockford race, again, August 23rd, 2025. We're looking forward to the announcement of what 12 obstacles we'll get. We all have our hunches. We don't know for sure, but we'll know by race time for sure. And you'll have a lot of memories. You'll be in the fraternity, and you'll have that fantastic jersey. Of course, that'll last a while, as long as it sounds like a ton of social media cred. So that's cool. And that is being brought to us by a lot of generous support. Our list is really expanded. Let me run down this list, guys, because we don't want to close this out without really giving a hat tip to everybody who's supporting us in this race. Of course, Abbott-Interfast, Brighton Best International. And by the way, they're giving away these exclusive commemorative coins we've been talking about on LinkedIn and on the podcast. Very nice. BTM Manufacturing, Beacon Fasteners and Components, Carver Labs, Big Bolt, Field Fastener, InSequel Software, Ironclad, SmartCert, Parker Fastener, Integrated Packaging, and we're helping out a little bit here at Fully Threaded Radio. So that rounds out our list of sponsors. It's going to be a great team. I'm hoping for about 40 guys or people, let's say. Bob, GQ Baer, thanks so much you're really pulling a lot of weight over there, and you have so much to do in your regular job. I don't know how you do it, but thank you.
Well, it's all in the spirit of fun and camaraderie and creating this kind of little membership that I think is very special and has become a part of our history, at least for the last 4 years, are part of our Midwest Fastener Association, who, by the way, is also supporting us by putting out things on social media. Just, by all means, go to the Tough Mudder website, view the obstacles, look at the race, see what's involved, see the bling they're going to give away. But know that for registration, you should be contacting Jake, George, Bobby, or myself, because we have a special registration procedure so that you can wind up on the team. So whatever you do, don't register directly through the website. Contact one of us and we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah. Plus, it saves you $50 too. So
Yeah.
I'd love to get that 40 number, Eric. That'd be awesome.
Let's do it. All right. I'll refer to you as your Tough Mudder names. Tater Tot, Valdez, GQ. See you guys on the race. Thanks for being here.
See you there. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, buddy.
Or as he called in the race, Iraq.
Iraq.
We'll be right back with more Fully Threaded, folks.
Fully Threaded Radio is a production of Fasteners Clearinghouse.